The gangster corners Molly in the alley. Gangster. Give it up, sister. You're through. Molly. You ain't got me yet. Molly scrambles up the fire escape. She's fast, but he's gaining. She takes off a shoe and flings it at him, hitting him in the face. It only buys her a few seconds. Her other shoe falls off and he catches it, taking note of the pointy heel. He smiles as he climbs steadily, about to reach her as she's wriggling into an open window. Phoebe slammed the typewriter carriage back and pulled out the page. She read the scene several times, trying to view it through Hank's eyes. He was a discerning story editor with a heavy hand. Phoebe grudgingly conceded that his edits improved her scripts. But she always strove to have fewer edits each time, and she was gaining on him as readily as this murderer was gaining on his victim. She needed Hank to see her as his best writer. He was going places. Phoebe wanted to go there too. She added the page to the pile and took several deep breaths. She always needed a break before writing the final scenes, the final murder, the final arrest, the final quip. Goodness and decency prevailing. A sameness she had to make different every time she wrote it. Television, or at least the fourth-rate detective show she wrote for, followed a rigid formula. There were better shows, though, with opportunities for real invention, and Phoebe was clawing her way to a spot on one of them. It didn't matter how many ridiculous murders she had to write to get there. She leaned back, giving herself over to ambient sounds. The grunt of the wooden chair's spine, the faint hum of Anne's radio in the apartment across the hall, a news program. Phoebe thought she could hear the announcer saying something about communists and the Soviets. She couldn't remember the last time a news broadcast didn't talk about the communist threat and the Red Scare and the efforts of the House Un-American Activities Committee and J. Edgar Hoover's FBI to keep America safe from Red Russia and the Reds that were assumed to be crawling all over the country, especially in Hollywood and unions and wherever Negroes were organizing. The House Committee was in the news so often, it was referred to by one and all as HUAC. Phoebe wondered how Anne could concentrate with such accompaniment, but Anne said the best artists kept up with current events. "How the heck is it current?" Phoebe demanded once, when Anne was listening, enthralled to Senator McCarthy's yowls. "Those HUAC hearings started in 1947, for crying out loud." "And now it's in the Senate too, isn't it?" Anne answered. Though McCarthy himself actually had gone away, censured and disgraced, after the Army McCarthy hearings, people still used the term McCarthyism, but only because it was a useful shorthand, with more zip than HUACism. Phoebe stacked up her newspapers, all folded open to local crime reports, and put up another pot of coffee. She lit a cigarette and sat on the makeshift window seat, wrapping her stocking toes around the jamb and letting her skirt flutter outside the open window in what she hoped looked very devil-may-care without being too saucy. It was warm, and many windows up and down Perry Street were open. Phoebe took long, luxurious drags on her cigarette, reveling in all the street sounds. Other typewriters, of course, clacking away, and music everywhere. Some single instruments, some groups, rehearsing or creating or teaching. Next door was the Disorderly Theater Company, a clutch of young men in a living room, shouting scenes from a political play that even the bohemians of Greenwich Village would say was laying it on a touch thick. But there was always the chance it would blossom into something that would make the world sit up and take notice. That happened.